All right, Facebook, we are live out there, Facebook and YouTube and everybody out there in the world. I want to say hello to everybody. It's been a long time since I've done a Facebook Live, and a lot of reasons behind that. No good excuses, but a lot of reasons. And I'm here today and I'm super excited. I'll give it a couple seconds till a few of you jump on. As you jump on today, let me know you are here. You want to put a little something in the chat box. Let me know. Also, take a couple seconds and let somebody else know. If you're watching this in the Average Sucks community, you want to welcome somebody to the community. You got to share the actual community. If you're watching this on our fan page or my personal page, you want to welcome some people as well. So this is a very, very important message I'm excited to share with you today. A message that I was talking about when I was sitting in my chiropractor today with Dr. Steve. We were sitting down and just chatting a little. My little 5-minute session of getting adjusted turned into like 25 minutes of how important it is to share with the world this message here today about communication, about what people are dealing with, what's going on in the world, and more importantly, how to literally manage your life. I mean, that's really what this is about. I put something in the comments below, like, why did they never teach it in school? I have no idea why they didn't, but I'm watching this and I'm making certain that my children get an opportunity to learn this. My parents might not have taught me. I might not have learned from the schooling that I went to, but we're here to get it now. Who cares if you get it from a crazy guy on Facebook? You never know where you're going to get the rules for life, the ones that work. So welcome everybody. As you're jumping on, let's wake up the Facebook gods. Let them know that we're here by giving this video a like right now. No matter where you're watching it, give it a like, and you want to share with somebody this video. If you're watching inside of one of our communities, the Average Sucks community, you can welcome somebody to the community by letting them know. Like the video, share with somebody you care about inside. Also, take a second to put a comment down below. Let me know you're here. Put a comment in the box. Let me know. I'll shout back at you. I may not see your name because we're using StreamYard to do this. So you say, hey, it's Bill, hey, it's Jim, whatever, because if you haven't used the program before, I don't know. You got to follow the instructions to let me know who you are so I can see you. So welcome, Dennis. Welcome out there. Welcome, Bill. John, welcome today. Brooke, welcome. And I'm excited. Feel free to share this with those that you care about, and we'll go from there. So we're going to get started here in a couple seconds, everybody. Welcome. And we're broadcasting this live on YouTube, on our personal fan page. We're putting it on my personal page as well as in the Average Sucks community. So welcome everybody. If you want to post where you're from, that will be absolutely amazing. And this will be about 25-30 minutes today. Welcome everybody. A couple things as you get started. Share this on your wall. Like it. If you hear anything you like, give us a love, give us a thumbs up, let us know what's going on, and let us know you're here. So a comment is awesome. If you get anything that I share that is shareable, a comment that you love that you heard, definitely want to grab that. Type it out real quick below, copy it, put it on your wall, and let's help as many people as possible. So the point of this broadcast is two things. One is I want to share with you a couple things that I've learned along the way that have made a major, major difference in my life that I shared with people all over the world for the last 15 years about how to manage your life and make your life work the way you want it to. Number two is there's enough crap out there online, things that people should not be watching, so much negativity, fighting, complaining. Why not take 25-30 minutes and empower yourself with some useful knowledge, some useful jargon that has a chance to make a difference. So let's get rocking. Let's get rolling. One last time, I'm going to tell you, put a like on the video, put a comment down below. Let me know you're here no matter where you're watching this, and wake up somebody else. Put their name down below in the comments and they'll know to join us for the broadcast. So here is what I'm going to tell you. 2019, let's go back in time real quick for all of you. They should have had a mandatory course. I've always said as business owners, there should be a mandatory course in all kinds of things that most people should have before they even consider starting a business. There should be a mandatory course that people take when they consider, having a child, or a mandatory course if you're considering getting married, and not just taught by teachers, taught by people that have done it well, people that have not done it well. Here's what to do and here's not what to do if you want to dominate and succeed in that area. At the end of 2019, if we would have known better, there should have been a mandatory course that they never taught in school called How to Manage Your Life and Deal with Crap That Shows Up. Now, I'm telling you, I might not have known to take it. I might not have thought about it. I might have been too positive at the time. And I might have said to myself, well, what's the big deal? The one thing I'm going to tell you is I don't remember in school ever being offered a class. I went to elementary school. I went to kindergarten. I went to pre-K. I went to nursery school. I had babysitters. I had teachers and tutors. And I don't think one time in my life anybody ever sat down with me and said, listen, Michael, here is how you manage life. There will be days in your life where things don't work out necessarily the way you want them to be. And because there are things that are not going to work out exactly the way you want it to be, you have got to be prepared. Now, I'm going to tell you, it should be a mandatory course. I think back now, like home ec, how valuable home ec was. If you remember home ec, give me a like, a love. You remember home ec. It was like you learned how to cook, how to burn water, boil water, how to sew, how to do all kinds of things that you'd probably need later in life. Now, what's fascinating about it is I don't think you can even find a home ec course in school today. We took intro to wood shop. We took all these classes because they figured one day you'll have a saw. One day you're going to have this. One day you're going to have that. One day you're going to have this going on, and one day you're going to have that going on. But what's fascinating about it is for each and every one of us, we have not managed how to have a course to actually learn how to dominate and make your life work the way you want it to. So I want to make certain that we could start that course here today for each and every one of you. And what I mean by start that course for each and every one of you is I want to really give that course to all of you right now. This is a never-ending study that all of us have to be great at. Where I find myself qualified over the last 15 years, up to 2019, literally, people have been coming to me with the world's largest challenges. Now, I don't know why it is that people never call Michael Bernoff like when they're having a bad day. Hey, Michael, I'm having one little bit of a bad day, having a little thing wrong. Can you help me? People tend to find me after years of trauma, years of challenges, years of things going on, and then they seek me out. They come to one of my events and they go, "Thank you, Michael. I'm glad you've been able to. I'm glad you've been able to help me. Thank you so much." Now, what's interesting is, wouldn't it be fascinating if each and every one of us knew some very, very basic information that allowed us to make a difference? So one thing I'm going to share with you all right now is, I've been saying this for months. I'm going to throw it out there right now before I get into the material. I don't want to forget about this. Is I got a call to action coming up, absolutely free for anybody who wants to take it. If you've not taken me up on this yet, it's right there on the screen. calltoactiontime.com. It is 5 days working with me, a challenge to help you make your life be the way you want it to be. Starts on Sunday, ends on Thursday, couple hours a day in the morning, couple hours at night to do a lot of what I'm sharing with you here today. It's on the phone. It's easy to access. You can do it from your car, work, office, wherever it is. Couple hours a day to make your life work the way you want it to. Easy to access. If you could type it down below, calltoactiontime.com. If one of you could type it down below, that'd be freaking awesome for you to do. And feel free to open up your messenger right now and share that link with anybody you care about. Calltoactiontime.com. Literally open up a messenger, send it to somebody, send somebody an iMessage, send somebody an email. Say, look, I think this would be great for you. It's free, no strings attached, no catches, nothing. It's my way of giving back to help as many people as we can. So let's give back and let's start getting into it right now. So here's what I recognized. That in the world, I see this all the time, and I've noticed this with my daughter, especially Maya, that she's homeschooling right now, and she's home with us on a regular basis, is that most people are taught a rule for life, that whatever it is you're after, business, personal, whatever it is you're doing, the majority of people in life have not been taught that it is okay to fail. And what I mean by it is okay to fail is that it is okay. The fastest and greatest way to learn anything you want in this world is to make a mistake. But I can't ever tell you a class that I ever took in school on mistake management. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing to take a course on mistake management? So we were sitting down the other day and we were doing a book report. And I was sitting down the first book report she ever did. She completed the project with Deborah, but I got the first draft with her. We sat down. Deborah was out of town. She was working with getting Tara back to school and going where she was going. And I had an opportunity to work with Maya. It was on the American Revolution. We were working on this paper. And I sat down with her. I said, Maya, what we're going to do is we are going to write the first draft. And in her brain, like, what is a first draft? What does that even mean? And what a first draft to people is, and I want to make certain we're clear, is most of us have to recognize this thing that we learned in school indirectly, that this first draft we have for life is we're going to throw something out there that we know is not going to be perfect. Now, I know the majority of you understand this intellectually, and you've said to yourself, oh, Michael, what's the big deal? I already know this. What's the big thing? Why does it matter? We got to understand this whole perfect thing. Here's why it matters. We live in a culture that rewards perfection. We do not live in a culture that rewards getting started. The majority of the greatest businesses in the world, all of them, did not start out of perfection. They started with the ability for a human being to take action. Now, I'm going to tell you that there's this lie that we've been lied to for years to find out the way, find out the plan, get the swipe copy is the big thing they say marketers say these days. If you've heard any of these things before, give me a like, give me a love. What are they doing? How do I model them? How do I do what they do? Because the majority of the world is looking for shortcuts. Now, I'm going to tell you the biggest reason people fail is you're looking for shortcuts. I remember my gym teacher, Mr. Chrysler, said at the presidential physical fitness test is if you cut the corner, nobody might see, but you would know for the rest of your life that you cut that corner. You have to learn to get around the track and to see what you are capable of. And by seeing what you're capable of, you start to find out what I call these days your average. I talk about in my book, Average Sucks, but you start to understand what your average is in life. Now, why I'm bringing this up to all of you is one of the biggest things that we've got to get out of this year is that not all years work out the way you want them to. Welcome to 2020. It's not working out necessarily the way you want it to. For some of you, it might be. But I think we have this reason in life, or we have this belief that if we do it and we're smart and you're a good person, things should just work out for you. But I go back to one of the things that I learned from one of my earliest mentors, Jim Rohn. And I know he talks about this a lot. I know Tony Robbins, he worked with Tony back in the day. Tony actually worked for Jim. I got a big picture of Jim up there. You can see him. My logo is covering him right now. But Jim was one of my earliest mentors that I had in life. And what Jim always talked about in one of his books, the seasons of life and the things that we go through in life. And I think the majority of people want things just to work out perfectly for them. So one of the gifts that we get to manage, and when you start to manage and understand your life, it's about understanding that life is about, and here's what life is really about. It's about navigating whatever shows up. So I want you to think about that for a second. When you go to bed at night and you've got a plan for what's going to happen the next day, how many of you recognize it's called hoping and dreaming? That's really what it is, hoping and dreaming. I truly believe that we have the ability to impact our life by somewhere between 1 and 10% every single day by a few basic things we can do. But the majority of it is that we're dealing with parts of our lives where some seasons it's winter, where things are challenging. Even though right now it's fall in the majority of places in the world, it's winter for a lot of people. Business may be down. You may be challenged with what's going on, but it's winter. And for other people, you may be dealing with summer where it's freaking hot as hell. And it's like, when is this going to end? It could be spring where things are getting better. They're rocking. But you've got to expect that in any given life, there's going to be ups and downs in everything that we do. And the ability to navigate these is the ability to dominate and do the things that you really want to do. So I got to ask you, what phase are you dealing with right now in your life? What phase are you've got going on? We're live. I got to ask you, is it winter where things are sluggish and slow and nothing's happening? Is it summer where you feel like you're never going to get through? Is it spring where things are starting to pop left and right? You got things going. Is it fall where like things are coming and it's the end of it and you're catching the last bit of money? What's coming out? Where are you living in what it is that you're doing? So when I talk about the navigation principles on how to make your life work, there's a few fundamental things that we've all got to get good at. Now, the challenge is I got to ask all of you a question. At the end of 2019, if I would have asked you this question, midway through, 3/4 of the way through October 2020, I got to ask you this right now. If I would have asked you in 2019, would you have said to yourself that the number one conversation that I and the majority of the people I know are going to have is an argument in politics? Would you have said that at the end of 2019? Now, you might have known it was coming, but would you have said that? And you probably wouldn't have said that. The challenge is most of us are having one of two types of conversations. And this is one of the things I'm going to tell you that I've learned along the way. The value of your life is based on the value of conversations you have with yourself and with other people. And the reason I use the word value for a minute, and I want to be really, really clear about the word value, and I talk about this all the time during our call to action program, is we're asking one of two questions. We're either asking growth questions or we're asking why questions, and why aren't things different? A growth question is, how do we get where it is that we want to go? A why question is, why are things this way? Why do people treat this way? Why are people mean? Why do people lie? Why are people hurting each other? Why is this happening? And we can ask that question. I think one of the biggest reasons people want to know why is it's so disturbing what you're seeing. It's so bothersome what you might have going on that you just want to know why. But let's say you did know why. And I gave you the answer. Here's why they're acting that way. Here's why you feel this way. Here's why you're broke. Does it solve anything? Well, the answer you and I both know is no, of course it doesn't. The real how questions are the dominating questions that start to change everything in your life. So I want you to think about that question for yourself. And I want you to think about this right now. The dominating conversation that you're having in your life right now, what is it about? If I were to scan your phone, scan your text messages, scan the things you're sending people, what are the majority of them about? Now, I could tell you the majority of the people in the world, it's political memes and we're taking sides and things are going on. And that's okay. I can't tell you, there's nothing wrong with doing that if that's what you want for your life. But here's the question. When it's all over and the elections are over and things are what they are and things are different, what do we talk about then? Here's the thing, you're going to have to get started again. So have whatever conversations you want to have, do the things you want to do, but what do you really want to be talking about? If we were all meeting again and we were at dinner, what would be the most exciting conversation that you'd want to have about growth, about potential, about desire, about making things happen, about getting your life to be the way you want it to be? I truly believe that if you're going to navigate your life and make a shift by 1 to 10%, 90% of the things just happen. You deal with them, they just happen, they are what they are. But the little shifts we make are based on our questions that we ask and also our dominating conversation. See, this is the part people don't get about conversations. You have it with somebody, but it doesn't end when they leave. You have it with somebody based on text. You have it with someone in Slack at work. You have it on Facebook, but then it carries with you a little bit longer because your brain knows that anything that you focus on must have been important. So we got to keep it a little bit longer. So you're done having a conversation, whether empowering, exciting, or pissed off with your Aunt Julie, your Uncle Bruce, or whatever's going on. And what happens is, and thank you, Matt, I appreciate the comment down below. And if you're enjoying this, I love it. If you'd share what we're doing with people, share it on your wall, give it a like, give it a love, wake up Facebook and let them know we're here. I want you to recognize that every conversation we have continues on. What the advertisers understand is this. This is about managing your life. The people in your life and the conversations that you have and the dominating thoughts that occur in your life are what's going to control your psyche on a regular basis, your focus on how to get the things you want. So for years, the biggest thing I've been sharing with people is how to get the conversation concentrated in a period of time that's effective enough. And when you get it concentrated enough and you get it where it needs to be, the residual effect of what everybody's doing. And it's funny because most people are so excited about residual income. Residual income is great, but the residual effect of focus has the ability to blow past anything you can get in residual income. It's the ability to do something and have it go with you and live with you longer. So I got to challenge all of you as you're thinking about this right now. And this is not just a Facebook Live where Michael lectures. It's an opportunity for you to think about your life and your business. What is your dominating conversation you're having with people? Are you leading with whys and needing to understand? Or are you figuring out how to get where it is that you want to go? And number 3 is, what are you really focused on right now? I got to ask you this thing. Like, most people don't talk about how to manage your life. I'm telling you, when I go back to what I shared at the beginning about home ec, about wood shop, things that would have been useful, here would have been some of the most useful conversations in school. You're 13. You're going to get to a phase possibly where you're going to disagree with your parents. Here is appropriate ways to have conversations with your parents. Nobody taught that shit. They didn't teach that at all at school. Or, hey, you're going to get in a relationship one day. Here's how to deal with a breakup, because at some point, your first relationship, not to be negative, is not going to work out, because we all have that grand illusion in our lives that the one relationship we have, the one thing we do, that is going to work out perfect. This is why people set themselves up. They lose in relationships, they lose in business, they assume everything's going to work out. So one of the ways to manage your life effectively is to be extremely optimistic. And what's challenging about being optimistic is a lot of times when people think of the word optimistic to themselves, they think, okay, you're being Pollyanna, Michael. You know, why are you acting like everything can be okay? Because it can be. The question is, how far are you willing to carry that optimism? Are you somebody that's okay with having the difficult conversation? Because an optimistic person, an optimism works absolutely perfect until you run this into somebody who's slightly pessimistic. Now, what's fascinating about it is when two people meet, he or she who's more certain wins. But the challenge is when an optimistic person runs into someone that's a little more pessimistic and a little more confident than you, what begins to happen is something very, very fascinating. The disagreement begins. And then depending how important your need to make somebody happy is how important it will be to hold your own with your optimism. I believe most people have surrendered their optimism, their excitement, their enthusiasm for life in the desire to keep other people happy. I think one of the life skills most people don't recognize is that your desire to keep other people happy is the guaranteed gateway to being miserable in life. I'm not saying be mean to anybody or give anybody a hard time, but it's like you could be so excited about something and your uncle, your aunt, your friend talks you out of it. The reason you have these people in your life is to love them for different things. They're not there just to cheer you on with every idea you have. But think about this for a second. Have you ever had this? Tell me if you've experienced this before. You're super excited. You're super fired up about something. You're super like, okay, I'm switching my morning. No more politics. No more negative Facebook. No more nonsense. Focused on my business, breaking out my old Amway tapes to get fired up from the 70s, getting excited about my old Tom Hopkins stuff. Old school. You guys understand this stuff. We're watching some Gary Vee, new school, right? And you're fired up. You get in your car, your phone rings. Somebody calls. They bring you the conversation. Do you know how to eloquently get out of it? I got to ask you that right now. Did they teach you that in school? How to eloquently get out of it? See, this is the one thing I'm going to tell you. You don't have to listen. You can hear, but you don't have to listen. Remember the residual effect. If your friend needs to go and they need to like share a bit, they want to vent, whatever it is, you got to have an excuse and you got to have something ready. Like our parents always taught us like how to deal with a kid that offers you drugs. You get offered a red cup at a party. My parents, I remember, said to me, you know, they have these stickers and don't lick them with the LSD thing back in the day, if you guys remember. So watch out for those little like stars that they give you out, like there's drugs on them or whatever it is that's going on in the world. And our parents prepared us for those conversations. And it was always those really, really big versions of these conversations you had to avoid. But what about the little ones? What about when somebody calls you and they bring you their garbage? They bring you their negativity. They bring you their feedback. They bring you their fear. They bring you their worry. Do you have a way of getting out of those conversations? See, I've realized one of the things in life is we've got to master two things. Getting into the conversations we need. You overhear somebody at a diner. You overhear someone at a restaurant. You overhear a conversation. They've got good ideas, stock tips. They've got good stuff, business. How do you get into their conversation and sit down? I cover all this stuff in my courses, teach people how to get into the conversation. How do you become a person that's valuable enough to sit at the table to get the info? How many of you would like to be at that table? You know the one that they knew about Tesla stock in advance. They knew it was going to split 5 times. They knew it was going to go up. The people that understood about marketing way before. You want to get in that table. The other thing is, how do you get away from the table? And majority of the people on earth, they're looking about how to get into the table. I got to tell you, the confidence to get away from the table is just as important. People say that your life is a direct reflection of the people you surround yourself by, the people you're around. Your business looks like the economics of the other 5 or 6 business owners you know. If you got a job, your job and your salary is an indication of the people you surround yourself by. Divorced people hang with divorced people. But what's interesting is learning how to get out of the conversation. So think about this for a second. How many courses have you taken on getting out of a freaking conversation? I mean, literally think about it, because we got to get good at this. How do you get out of it? Well, I got a very simple rule to life. I care so much that I don't care at all. And I want to explain what I mean by that. I love people so much. I care so much. There are things I can't care about, because if I choose to care about that, I don't care about you. I also know it's detrimental to allow you to have that conversation, but I'm going to let you learn that. Now, what I mean by that and why I'm bringing this up and why it's so urgent for all of you. And if you're enjoying this right now, again, like, love, comment, share. And it's not just me talking right now. I'm literally saying, do that. And the reason why is more people will see this. So while you're watching this, put the share on. If you're watching in the Average Sucks community, give it a like, give it a comment. It wakes up people. If you haven't been to our community and a part of our community, you definitely want to check out our community. michaelbernoff.com/community gets you to the Average Sucks. I definitely want you to go there, check out the community. And so the point of this is, how do you get out of the conversation? This is one of the greatest life lessons all of us got to get into. Is number one is you've got to realize the reason why you can't have it. Here's the deal. Hurts 2 people. My parents always said to me that you are just as guilty gossiping, and you're even double guilty listening to the gossip. And what I mean by that is we're all talking about people. We're all talking about people that are not there in the room. Think about that for a second. Think about that as a rule for life. You are double guilty listening. You're half guilty or full guilty talking about another person. So when someone brings you the conversation you don't want to have, you've just basically got to recognize, I'm going to give this 90 seconds. I'm going to give this 30 seconds. You're going to have to say things like, I totally appreciate your perspective right now. I got to run. Can we pick this up later? Let me tell you what's going to happen when you say that to somebody. They're going to call somebody else and complain with them. Talk about it with them. Don't worry. They'll find somebody else. They're amped about it. But you've got to learn how to get out of those conversations. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up to you is that we've got to recognize everybody, you and me, we're all going through seasons. The other thing is we're not always going through the same seasons at the same time. Your winter may be my summer. Your summer may be my winter. Your fall may be my spring. We've got different things going on. But the thing is, the majority of us have to learn life skills. And here's the biggest life skills you got to figure out: how to mentally and emotionally handle everything that you desire in your life. And I'm going to tell you, if this year taught us anything, is you're stronger than you thought you were. You can tolerate more than you thought. Last year, it was a breeze for most people. One of the biggest things that I cover in my book, Average Sucks, if you haven't read it yet, definitely want to get the book, Average Sucks. You can get it at averagesucks.com. And one of the biggest things that I cover in the book is that life lesson number one is adversity grows us. It makes us more of who we are. It's not just a meme. Adversity is what makes you the person you want to be. You want to grow a muscle, it requires adversity. You want to grow a relationship, you got to go through shit to make a relationship better. It's wonderful in the fairy tales, everything works out good. But when a couple goes through a death, a loss, it goes through a challenge, when it goes through a growth of something, a remodel of a house, any kind of adversity, the couple grows. But it's like we get this disillusion that you think you can get through life and business without challenges. You got to seek them out. So I got to tell you what this year is really all about. And you're right, Mind Control 2.0 is one of the greatest things in the world. I love that you love that, David. And mindcontrol2.0.com, mindcontrol20.com, you guys can get access to that. But the point is, someone can put that down below, mindcontrol20.com, like mindcontrol20, not 2.0, 20, like 20.com, how to control your mind. If you haven't taken that, man, boom, get on that thing. But the point is, here's, I got to ask you a very simple question. Where are you spending your time? What are the questions that you're asking yourself and others? More importantly, what are you putting in here? What are you allowing people to come in? And more importantly, what are the criteria that you have for letting somebody inside your head? The fact that they were a nice person, the fact that they were your friend at one point, the fact that you liked them prior, the fact that they mattered at a different point in your life, that's not enough criteria. What is your criteria that you have for allowing somebody to be the person that matters inside of your life? And I want you to think about that right now. So here's what I'm going to tell all of you in the final thoughts. I'm going to be doing a lot of Facebook Lives. If you're enjoying this, give me a like, give me a love, give me a thumbs up. Just give me a yes. Just literally put in the box, give me a yes, and I'll see it. If you're enjoying this, just give me a yes right now. And the reason why is yes, more. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be getting on here and ranting a little bit and sharing with you guys a couple things. All I'm going to tell you is that I want to share with you everything we didn't learn in school. And this is the biggest thing and biggest lesson I can give all of you today is that three basic things. You never know the season you're dealing with. You never know the season they're dealing with. Number one, check that out. Business, sales, everything, boom, check the season. Number two, check the source. And what I mean by check the source is, where is this information coming from? What are you getting? What are you liking about what you're hearing? And what are you letting in? What is your criteria for letting another person's brain get into your brain? Number three, if you're asking yourself this, the yeses, okay, that you're getting, do you really need to know why? Or do you want to figure out how to get what you want? I got to ask you, what do you really want to be thinking about? Think about that for a second. What do you really, really want to be thinking about? Think about that for a second. What do you want to think about? The reason call to action works so well, it's calltoactiontime.com. Folks, it's 5 days. It's free. Take it. If you haven't taken it, and please get one of your friends to take it. And I'm going to tell you, really, really, it's necessary to do. Here's all we do. We teach you in 5 days how to control your thinking to get it to be what you want it to be, to start getting what you want. My guarantee is simple. You'll get more done in 5 days than you have in 5 months. Imagine you took a class on that in school, how to control your thinking to get what it is you want. What would that do for you in your life if you knew it? I'm sorry they didn't teach it in school. I'll give you a hug and I'll hold you, and I'm really sorry they didn't teach you in school. But guess what? I'm here to teach you now. We can ask why they didn't teach it. Who cares why they didn't teach it? How do I get access? You click the link, calltoactiontime.com. Someone put it down below. Someone says the best course ever. If you got a lot out of call to action, post down below that you got a lot out of it. Recommend it to a friend. Grab that link and share it. Like literally, I'll put it down here and I'm going to give it to you right now. And I'm going to tell you, grab the link and share it with somebody you care about. Literally, give it to somebody you care about and show them that you care about them. Say, I want you to take this. I care about it enough. I want you to take this, because whatever we've got ahead, election wise, life wise, economy wise, whatever's going on in the world, you got to be prepared. This is the best thing I can do. Think of it as a prep backpack for making your life work. Think of it as a plan to get yourself where you want to go. And here's my challenge for you in the next 30 days, 3 days. By the end of the day, what are you going to focus on? What are you going to focus on? What do you want to focus on? Take 10 minutes as soon as this is over in 30 seconds and do 2 things. 1, share this video, or welcome somebody to the community that we have. Share this video. Welcome them to the Average Sucks community. You can find it on Facebook. You got to fill out the form. We'll let you in if you're appropriate for us. We'll let you in. Number 2, share call to action with somebody. Like the page, share it with somebody. But number 3, what do you really want to focus on? What do you want the rest of this year to be about? Folks, the political conversation is boring. It really is. You and I both know it is. Why 2020 sucks? Boring. Mass conversation? Boring. Corona? Boring. Having the life you want for the next 10, 20, 30 years? Pretty damn exciting. Getting where you want to go? Exciting. Folks, this year is no different than any other year. It's shit's not working out the way you want it to. And guess what? That's called life. No different than when you started your business. No different when you're having trouble in your relationship. It's called, it's not exactly what I want. What are you going to do about it? And here's the first thing you can do about it. You got to sit right now for the next 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Quickly, like this if you like it. Share with somebody about call to action. And while you're doing that, ask yourself a question. What do you want your life to be about? We're giving you the community, Average Sucks community. Find it online. Join it. Go there. I'll give you the little banner. You can find it again. Join the community. Find it. michaelbernoff.com/community. Brings up the Facebook group. Here's a group of people to hang with. Okay? This is the material that you can take with me live, work with me, calltoactiontime.com, and get my book. Simplest thing in the world. My daughter wrote this. My old belief was that I couldn't write the book. And she goes, look at this author. She gave me this little thing. This is awesome. And I keep it as my bookmark right here. Look at this author. It's a picture of her and me and my dog that's not with us anymore. But there's my daddy, the author. So I tell you that to tell you this. We got big plans. You got big things to do, and you got to ask yourself a question. Big life, little life, you pick. Little life, keep the gossip, keep the politics, keep it all going. Big life, decide what you want. Choice is yours. I got to do my thing right now. Appreciate all of you. If you enjoyed this, put a like, love, please share. That's all I ask. I do this out of the kindness of my heart to help you guys out, but I want to help as many people. Let's see how many Facebook feeds we can fill up with positive stuff. So if you want to share it, go to my fan page if you're in the Average Sucks community, and then you can share it. Or my personal page. If you're watching this in the leadership community, got to go to the fan page to share it. So you're welcome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. And definitely calltoactiontime.com. I'm excited to work with you guys. Have a great day, everyone. Beginning of the life lessons, more to come. And I'm excited. Catch you guys soon. See ya.